What must our ancestors think of us? Do you think they pity us?
What's up everybody, and welcome to a review of Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora that releases tomorrow on all major platforms. You can see now I've got the game running on PC, and I'm going to give you an insight on how the game plays, what kind of game it is, what kind of options you've got for interfaces, you know, all the good settings, things like that, combat, level up, gear, all the good information. It's going to be a slightly long video. There is a lot to cover in this game, but I'm going to try and get you the most precise, up-to-date details right to your screens right now. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So, I've been playing this game now for a few days, and I feel like I have barely scratched the surface. I really wanted to play as much as I possibly could to get a, so I could give you a good, honest review. But I'm not near the end, I don't think, and I've not been able to get there. So there's a PSA right off the rip. I have not finished the game, and I don't even think I have barely come close. But one of the first things that you will notice is that the game is absolutely beautiful. I'm running on PC here. My PC's a few years old now, but I'm on ultra settings. The frame rate seems to be really, really nice when I'm in combat and when I'm flying around. And as you can see, I'll go up into the sky here. You can see it's just absolutely beautiful. The area here is just so nice. They've done such a good job of the map. Speaking of the map, we will take a look. You can see here you can fast travel to all these locations. You've got like the fog that you've kind of got to unlock by traveling or going there. You've got all your missions and areas on the map as well. There is a whole bunch to do in this game, and when I say there's a whole bunch to do, I will scroll out and you can see the size of the map. I have barely touched a quarter of this map, and I have played now for over 20 hours. Now, I have not strictly stuck to the main storyline. I've done a lot of exploring, I've done a lot of side questing and things like that, so totally depends on the kind of player that you are, on how fast you are going to progress that system. So it takes about a little while. So if you go in side quests, main quests and things like that, about 10 hours in, you will get the ability to fly. I think it does it just enough, just at the right time. I did get a little bit fed up of kind of running around and, and things like that. If I kind of go over here though, and I'll just land, and what it'll remind you of, if you played a game called Mirror's Edge back in the day, that is kind of what the reversing around is like. You can kind of grab onto, most things, not that obviously. There we go. He says, and you get speed boosts from the plants and things that are kind of hanging around, and you can traverse walls. What we'll do, we'll just do this here now. Very parkour-esque that you can kind of traverse around. Now the wildlife itself, it's just like Pandora you've seen in the movies. It's dangerous. It's also really nice, but the plants will kill you. There's animals that will try and kill you. There's animals that won't try and kill you. There's collectibles absolutely everywhere, and that leads us on to a nice segue, which we will just do, is that this is essentially Far Cry Avatar. If you wanted to relate it to any other game on the market, it is a lot like Far Cry. There is a lot of collecting, there's a lot of scavenging, it has its own gear and level up system, which we'll talk about in just a little bit as well. The map, everything leans towards the type of game that Far Cry is. So if you like Far Cry games, you're going to get on very, very well with this. That is for sure. For instance, the main missions that I've had so far is that when you go to a certain area, it's polluted and it's, it's all toxic in the air. You've got to take down the area. I don't want to do no story spoilers, so you've got to kind of take down whatever's going on in that area, and then the air becomes nice, and then you can complete your missions and you can carry on your merry way. And that's a lot like the camps that you used to have in Far Cry, where you had to liberate the camps, so that they then turned into districts where there would be shops and upgrades and and things like that. It follows the same kind of path. You have your map, you have a hunter's guide for all the things that you've kind of come across and that you've found. You've got your quest menu, nothing out of the ordinary there. And then here you have your character menu, and this is where you kind of level up. They've got the combat strength here. Now, it's not a regular XP type affair, but what you'll see is if I go into something where I've got multiple, you can see here that this one's, you know, it's got 33 health. That's the one that I've got on. If I go this one, you'll see the bar underneath here just kind of dropped a little bit because this wasn't as good. Now, it does its own rating. It doesn't really tell you, you know, how much it's going to level up this bar. It just kind of does it. You can kind of tell that the gear is better by looking at the stats yourself, but you've no idea when you hover over things how much it's going to increase that bar up. For instance, there we can see that's much worse. It drops the bar. We put on the ones that are 26. It heightens the bar. The what you've got to look at though here is they have substats as well, like ranged resistance, wildlife damage, range resistance again, you know, and they have all stealth, because you can play the game completely stealthy if you want with your bow and arrow and things like that. So there's also mods that will also upgrade it as well. You can see here RDA damage, which is obviously the human type of enemy, and then energy, and there's different ones that you can do as well, leaning towards the fact that you're actually going to be able to gear out for the type of activity later in the game that you are going to be doing. We've got a longbow that you get right off the rip, assault rifles, we've got heavy bows, we've got kind of staff slings which, you know, throw explosives at things as well, and then your normal pouch for everything that you're out and about collecting in the jungle. If you wanted to take a look at what settings you're going to have available, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So you've got your normal combat challenge where easy, medium, very hard, which is kind of cool, and you can make that custom as well if you want to alter the incoming and outgoing damage to enemies to make things even a little bit easier for you as well. But the most interesting menu here is the quest guidance. Now, the game really, it kind of leads you where you want to go. So for instance, if I hold the X key, you get your Navi sense, and that'll highlight anything around like objects of interest, but also you can see that is my quest marker. Now, I'm only level 6 at the moment. The next mission is a level 7. I've always kind of been okay doing one level above, and it's always kind of taken me up a level by completing that. It's certainly been a good enough challenge. I've died a few times, but then also got through, and it's kind of been fine. But when you look at this, doing it this way, you can actually change this to go kind of a more Legend of Zelda route, where you can go to exploration, where it'll kind of say you've got to kind of do this and you've got to kind of go there, but then you've got to look at the map, you've got to look at the hunter guide and things like that, and find your own way to the mission objective. The game will take much longer this way. It totally depends what kind of player that you are, because even guided will kind of point you to the right direction and you'll get there, and if you get close enough, your Navi sense will kind of highlight the objective. But if you just get to the area, you've still got to explore and you've still got to find your own objective as well. So there is you know, some things to think about there, depending on how long you want the game to last. And if you're that kind of player, exploration is not for me. I'd lose my patience too quick. Guided is just okay. If it would give me any more less information, I would probably get frustrated. I like a little bit more guidance in my games, so it depends on the kind of player that you are. You can crank up field of view and things like that, and all that looks great. If we want to just very quickly have a look at the graphics settings, one thing I did want to mention, if I scroll down here, hopefully this is the menu that it's in, it has support for video. Yeah, here it is. So it has support for the upscalers for the NVIDIA Deep Learning Super Sampling, but it also does for the AMD Fidelity FX as well. So the game's run super smooth. Very impressed with it. So just so you know, you can kind of crank the game up. I don't usually play at this kind of resolution. I've done this for video purposes to make it look great. I'll run at 2K 144. But it runs like an absolute dream. Even when I'm trying to push this, I get over 100 FPS, which is great. Co-op is unavailable for me at the moment. I've not been able to play that, but this was an early review copy that I got, so I guess when the game releases tomorrow, that the maintenance will end and I will be able to play co-op. Now, a couple of other things that I did want to mention is that when you go to these kind of camps and things like that that you saw that I was just at before, we'll go to this one here because this is the very first one that you see. It doesn't contain any spoilers. You're able to donate resources to these camps to give you kind of bonuses in the area. So that's one thing that to think about as well. There is crafting benches so that you can, from missions, you'll get blueprints and you can craft and upgrade your gear. And if we go just over here, every kind of base has these benches and things like that, where you can talk to people, and they're either traders. So you can see here, you can, you know, buy mods and things like that. And this is the currency that you'll find just by playing the game out in the field or by completing missions as well. Here is the crafting bench as well. So it just kind of takes the RPG elements just one step further. And if we go over here, we've got what will be just your regular traders. When he lets me in, he's not letting me in. He doesn't want to sell me anything. There we go. So he's nothing of it. Oh, there you go. So he's got things available at a time. But as you can see there, we've got the whole gear tiered system. We've got green, we've got the superior ones, and then we've got the exquisite ones as well, that you're able to buy. And again, this is with a different type of currency that you'll just get by being out in the field. You'll find it in certain special areas and by doing all the missions as well. The game is just great. So what I'm going to do now is we'll head to a mission. So if we press tab, and I will fast forward to this, we'll find something that is fairly close that we can do. So we'll go to this one here and we'll do a bit of combat, and I'll show you the combat as well.
Hot heads and warmer hearts. When the Zakru walk, we follow.
And when they...
So we are just homing in on this factory style thing here that is polluting the air in the area. It means we can't collect anything if we kill any enemies or anything like that. We can't harvest from them or collect any items because everything is polluted. And the idea is that we take down this factory, and then we can then, whoa, get noticed straight away. So much for the art of stealth. We can take down the factory and then unpollute the air. Now this factory is above my level. I'm not sure how well this is going to go, but it did show something great. You can see the markers above in the Metal Gear-esque kind of warning. So yellow means they think something's going on, they're not quite sure, and red means that you have been spotted. One thing I didn't mention before when we were in the menu is that we've got skills, and you can level up here like a skill tree. You can see I've got 2 points here at the moment. The ancestor skills are very special ones. I'm not going to ruin that. They come as part of the story, but I guess there's probably extra ones as well. But then you've got your normal ones here like this one. So you go into the memories of the warrior and you can increase DPS by following this tree in different ways. And then you've got one that's more focused on survivor. So you can, you know, this one here, we can gain 50% of our base energy, which we'll do. We've got 2 skills. 2 points, and you can see there it's more expensive to do the next one. So let's go back out and let's see if we can sneak up on this a little bit, and we can kind of get a bit more of an idea of what is going on here. There's our weapon wheel, so we're going to press C and we're going to use the silent bullets, but you can see here this guy is on full alert for blue enemies. I'm going to kind of slide in without him knowing, and I'm not going to do this stealthily. I'm going to go combat because I wanted to show you. So these guys actually have weak points on the side. If you blow them up, you can take them down really easily rather than put 30 arrows into the middle of it. And that goes the same for, you know, most of the bad guys that you'll see in the game. It's definitely worth, you know, figuring them out, looking at the hunter log, because then you'll figure out the weak points. You can see there on the walking mech there, he has a weak point on the back, and if you hit him with one shot it will kill him. And if we go here, we can see this guy here, we're just going to punch him and say goodbye, and we're going to use our navi sense. So we can see one of our objectives is there. We've got one objective over there and one objective over there. And one over there as well by the looks of it. So this is a very heavily armed base. So what happens is when you take down all of the objectives, you don't have to clear the place out. They will just back out and disappear, and it will become under friendly control. That's one down. There's things, so you can see there that it starts to have an effect on the base as we kind of do our thing. Now this guy is a little bit awkward here. I really don't want to raise too much of an alarm yet, because when when they're aware that I'm doing something, they will also get reinforcements to come, which will kind of bulk the place up as well. I think I got spotted then. So much for stealth. Yeah, I got spotted. So what we'll do is we'll use the grenade launcher kind of thing here if we need to. It's kind of my emergency weapon. Oh, there you go. You can see the reinforcements coming because I am absolutely rubbish. We'll get around here. We'll get this one taken down. You can hear the chopper coming in. I suppose if you were powerful enough, you could take the chopper down right at the beginning. Right, so I think they don't really know where I am right now. But get this switch done. The mechs drop assault rifle ammo, and the humans. As you can see, not hitting the weak points. It just takes a smidgen of their life, depending on what weapon that you are using. We've got something down there. We've got to get that. Looks pretty hectic. Where's we've got one there, so we're gonna go for that one first. Unfortunately, it doesn't kind of save. If I die, I'll have to do all of these objectives again. Now, what you can do is, if you can get him to land, you can call your mountain, which makes doing some of these things a little bit easier. And we can go really, really, really far up. We can dismount and get a bit more of a bird's eye view to what exactly is going on. And there's the one, that one, there's one there. So this is the one we're going to go for. Look what's kind of going on down there. So it looks like a switch. It looks like most of my enemies are just underneath here. This might be all right. So use this guy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, buddy. Let's get off. That launcher was there, so we could do with getting rid of that launcher. And now I understand why there is launchers in the game, because you kind of do these at the first and you're like, hang on, why is the launchers? I'm not here. That one can't fire anymore, but it's still got some life, so we're not bothered about it anymore. We're trying to get to that top bit there, so let's go around the other side. Oh, I thought he was a bad guy. And we're going to go back onto our grenade pouch, because these one-shot the big enemies. So if we do run up on one, we can just sling this grenade at them and we'll be okay. Which we'll do on... Oh no, we don't want to do that on him. It's a waste. I'll get rid of this one around here too. We're going to pull this switch really quickly. You can see we're dying in the fog of smoke, which is not great. But it will lead me to kind of a nice point if I can get somewhere safe and show you. Is that when you have food as well, which you can kind of craft by collecting items. You've got raw items you can eat, or you can craft food as well like this, which will give you, you know, speed buff, a health buff and things like that, just to overall make your whole experience a little bit easier. So we've got one more to kind of get to. That's on high alert over there. We're not bothered about that. Well, let's try and work our way over to this last section. And I feel like we'll have to take a few things out. But you can play it how you want. You can be, you know, bring a run and gun like me and just kind of clear the areas out that you need. We're going to go around rather than put ourselves in the middle. You can just kill everything out the entire base. That's what I was doing at the beginning. spending time clearing out the entire base, and then that was kind of okay. Or you can stealth it up completely and try and not get noticed. And I think as we get further in, gear will play more of a part in that, because you can get stealth gear and stuff and things like that. Right, so there is a lot going on here. There's a few mechs dotted around. So that's that one gone. Whoa. Something up top that I don't like the look of. Whoa, and we're blown up as well. So we're going to let them push us a little bit. Can't get a shot on him. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's a new type of enemy. He's got grenades. I have not seen him before. And he really, really hurts. Yeah, he's a sniper, so that's one to watch out for. We're doing alright here. We've got our life up there. Food has saved us there. Do we have any grenades left? Yes, we have. I think we've got one bit of life left. I think he has. Didn't pull my bow back far enough. What have we got left? So as you can see, he's going to give me assault rifle ammo, which we didn't use any of. So he's another big bad guy. But we do want to try and get rid of this guy up here. Got rid of him, nice and easy. And then we can kind of push this guy here now. Oh, it's a... Whoa, there's a guy. You can see even the little guys, even though they're one shot, they can very, very quickly turn against you. And then hopefully if we flip this switch, we get the cutscene and they all disappear and we take over the area, and this now becomes a friendly area and it'll let you progress your missions in that area. I don't want to progress the missions any further for you on video. I don't want to do any spoilers. I mean, doing one of these is definitely not a spoiler. You'll see this right from the very start of the game. But yeah, that's going to be it for my review. I know it's been a bit all over the place. There was a lot to cover, but this is definitely not a movie game. And when you think about movie games, they tend to be very lightweight, very just kind of adaptive to the story of the movie, and you know, it becomes a bit meh. This thing itself is a game in itself. It's huge. It seems like it's got a lot of replayability, depending on how you want to play the game. And you know, you can take your time with it. You can go the full exploration route, or you can not. You can go the same route as me. But the value for money wise, I would say that this thing is pretty crazy. It looks like a fully fledged full game, you know, and definitely not a, you know, it's got a movie tie-in, but you know, it's definitely a game in itself is what I'm trying to say. And as you can see there, I've taken over this area, and that is where we're next going to be playing. The map is huge. There is a huge amount to do. The story's great. Definitely I would recommend it. The only thing I would kind of negatives about this, I feel like I'll give it all good so far, and it's certainly not a 10 out of 10 game. Some of that bit is a little bit repetitive, going over, taking over the areas and then getting the side missions, but I kind of don't mind that. I'm a bit of a grinder when it comes to games anyway, so I don't mind that. So that could be a down point for some people, and sometimes I find it a little bit hard on where I should be going. It doesn't necessarily present itself very obvious that you need to go here, you need to go here, and that's great if you're an exploration type of person, but I selected the other option on purpose because I didn't want to be that kind of person. I selected it because I wanted to be more like an Assassin's Creed or more like a Far Cry or whatever else. So it's just sometimes a little bit confusing. I think the first 10 minutes of the game I was really confused on how the game plays and where to go. I just don't think it quite holds your hand enough at the beginning to kind of explain that is the type of game that it is. But aside from that, it's great. It runs great. I've had no crashes. Everything runs nice and smooth. It's beautiful. And yeah, this is a, you know, so far for me, although I've not got to the end yet, and you know, obviously like I said, the PSA, I've not completed the game. I put around 20 hours into it so far, but it's like a solid 8 out of 10 game. for me so far. I think it's beautiful. I want to come back. I want to play it more. I had to do some Division content this morning, but really I wanted to play this. And yeah, it's great. The controls are fine. I'm using mouse and keyboard, but there's options for controller there as well. And yeah, big shout out to Ubisoft who provided me the key. Thank you to them as well. And that's gonna be it. So stay tuned. I will likely put more videos for this game up on my YouTube channel when I find some good weapons and hints and tips and blueprints and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.